The acknowledgement that they've done something wrong, in my opinion, is the fact that they've paid for all the damage.
No one died in Onslow that morning. No one was physically hurt. But people living in the neighborhood and the men who were at the fire hall that day lived through a trauma too.
I remember thinking when I was in there, how am I going to die? Is it going to be fast? Is it, we're going to see this person? Am I going to lay bleeding on the floor? I remember thinking that to myself in there, like, how am I going to die here? Because I assumed I was going to.
Greg and Daryl have felt isolated since this happened. They have each other to lean on and their partners, but they said other supports have been lacking. They both tried talking with counselors appointed through the volunteer fire service.
I couldn't get everything out like I wanted to get out, like on a talk session. Like we did it on phone because of COVID. I seem like I only get to say one thing and we stick that one thing all whole hour. My wife helps me more because I can tell her everything, and she'll ask me questions about it.
Daryl tried several sessions too, but he said it felt like they missed the mark.
I don't think people understand the seriousness of or how close somebody was to dying that day. It just, they don't seem, the counselor people I talked to just don't seem to understand what happened. They haven't seen the video, so.
Greg said the emergency management office is trying to arrange for them to see psychologists 10 months after the fact. Greg and Daryl have been volunteer firefighters for decades. Seeing tragedy and witnessing trauma is a harsh reality of the job as first responders. But when it happens to you, Daryl said, it's different.
Some days are good, some days aren't. I never slept last night, so some days aren't good. They're just not. It's the trouble focusing. It's no ambition, like to move past it. Experiencing trauma is different than witnessing trauma. To go to a fire, somebody dies, or you pull a body out of a house or a car accident. We were just there as witnesses, but we weren't here as witnesses. We were here and experienced it.
They've had a lot of support from the other members of the fire service and beyond. Greg said other firefighters will call and ask how they're really doing to make sure they know people care. While that can be a painful reminder, it's nice to feel like people haven't forgotten. But Daryl said he hasn't always had the same experience.
Sometimes I feel like I have plague.
Really?
Yeah, and it's sort of the opposite of what it seems like. Everybody's scared to ask you how you're doing in case you answer.
He feels like most people can't understand what they've been through. They don't always know how to ask about it, and there's not much anyone can say to make it better.
That's the fine knife edge that people are on, right? Like, is he going to break down and start crying, or is he going to say everything is fine? Oh yeah, I'm doing good, right? I think people walk that edge, and they just never know which way you're going to tip. So it's just as easy to avoid it.
The only thing they feel will help now is time, and more urgently, answers.
I mean, they put us through hell, I'm going to say the word, that day, and I think we need an explanation. And it should have been done months ago. Like, I think they should have come here and met with us and give us a reason what happened that day. It made us feel a little bit better, but as of right now, I don't feel any better than I did when this happens.
Coming back to the fire hall brings back these memories.
It used to be my second home, and I kind of isn't right now. I shouldn't say it isn't right now, but I don't feel it is, because I used to live here one time. I mean, back and forth every day. And it's just not the same. It don't feel the same. I thought this was a safe zone. I mean, firehouse are safe zones for us. I mean, I think this place is a safe zone for anybody that comes there. And if I didn't know this was going on, I don't know if I would have known.
Had we known the true gravity of the whole situation, well, I know Greg wouldn't have opened the hall, and I never would have left home.
The trauma doesn't just go away because the rest of the world has moved on. The fire hall itself is pretty much patched up. From the outside, it looks like things are back to normal, even if it doesn't feel that way. And when the next call comes in, Daryl and Greg will be there.
We're still here for the community. They know that. Lots of support. We continue to be professional and work with all our partners that we work with. And, don't have any plan to change that. That's just the way we are.